Hello students. Today we will go through classification of respiration, means different kind of respiration which occurs in different levels. We'll be understanding that. Let's go for that. So we are discussing different types of respirations, right, at different levels. The first one, it is called external respiration. External respiration. And the second one is called internal respiration. Internal respiration. And third type is cellular or cell respiration. Cellular or cell respiration, where actually gases are being exchanged. The site, on that basis we are differentiating it. First of all, it is external respiration. Now, external respiration is basically gaseous exchange between alveoli in the lungs and the blood. So, this is basically gaseous exchange between alveoli and blood vessels and blood. Oxygen get transferred from alveoli into the blood, and carbon dioxide get transferred from blood to alveoli. We already have discussed in the last video about it. This is the first kind of external respiration. Now, second is internal respiration. Now, blood has taken oxygen. It has become oxyhemoglobin. Now, blood takes this oxygen and goes to the tissues, where the gases are being transferred from blood to the tissue and tissue to the blood. That's called internal respiration. So, gaseous exchange take place. Gaseous exchange take place between blood and tissues. Okay, between blood and tissues. So blood gives oxygen, so oxygen get transferred from blood to tissues, and carbon dioxide diffused into blood. So now blood has given the oxygen and taken the carbon dioxide from the tissues. Here the blood has taken oxygen from the alveoli, so it becomes oxyhemoglobin. Hemoglobin means hemoglobin has actually captured the oxygen. Now hemoglobin is called as oxyhemoglobin. In this case, the oxygen is transferred to the tissues and tissues has given carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide is also captured by, a very small amount is captured by hemoglobin. Usually carbon dioxide is transferred through plasma, right? Plasma in the form of bicarbonate. But whatever hemoglobin captures the carbon dioxide, now it is called as carbaamino hemoglobin. Usually a term is being utilized, carboxyhemoglobin. That is only in the case when the hemoglobin captures carbon monoxide. So here carbaamino hemoglobin means blood plus carbon dioxide. But if carbon monoxide, which is having a great affinity more than the oxygen, carbon monoxide combines with the hemoglobin, then it is called as carboxyhemoglobin. Carboxyhemoglobin. Remember that. This is small terms which makes a lot of difference in the competitive exams. Let us come to the cellular or cell respiration. Cell respiration means when this oxygen is given to the tissues from the tissues, every cell has received the oxygen. And there the oxygen going into many of the biochemical reactions with the help of enzyme for the production of energy, that is called as cellular or cell respiration. It is occurring at the level of the cell. So what is a cellular respiration? First of all, it is not a gaseous exchange. It is basically utilization of oxygen for production of energy. So cellular respiration is basically many biochemical reactions with the help of enzymes to produce energy. It usually occurs in cytoplasm of the cell. This is very important. So at what site different kind of respirations are occurring? That way we can classify them into external respiration, internal respiration, and cellular respiration. Remember these words: oxyhemoglobin when the hemoglobin is having oxygen, carboaminohemoglobin when it is having carbon dioxide, and if carbon monoxide combines with the hemoglobin, it is called as carboxyhemoglobin. Remember one more thing: carbon dioxide, only very few percentage, call it about 3%, is transferred. It's transferred by hemoglobin. Usually 97% of carbon dioxide is transferred through plasma in the form of bicarbonate ion, HCO3 ions. Remember that. This is very important again in the competitive exams also. Okay, this is on the site where respiration is occurring. Another way of having classification is aerobic and anaerobic. Let's discuss that also. Aerobic and anaerobic. In 1890, Dr. Sachs found that certain organism does the respiration in the presence of oxygen. They are called as aerobic. This respiration is called aerobic and organisms are called aerobes. Aerobic respiration. So on the basis of whether some organism utilize oxygen or not, we can differentiate the respiration into aerobic respiration, and organisms are aerobes, or second one is anaerobes. Anaerobic respiration means the organism which does respiration in the absence of oxygen. So they are called anaerobes. Let's split the term an. An means without. Remember. Aero means air. big word has come, bias, from bias means life. A life which is respiring in the absence of oxygen or air. Okay, so remember, very simple definitions are respiration which take place in the presence of oxygen, means oxygen की presence में हो रहा है. The respiration which is occurring or happening in the absence of oxygen, so oxygen not available. This is a simple way to understand. So what are those organisms? All organisms respire, usually or multicellular organism, we see they respire through aerobic respiration like us also. In aerobic respiration, it is done by yeast, which we call as fermentation. It is done by bacteria. RBCs of our cells also does that, right? And muscles of human, anaerobic respiration happens during vigorous exercise. Remember that. When we do a huge amount of exercise, in that case, the muscle utilize most of the oxygen and the muscles become, oxygen debt. Debit and credit. Right? These are oxygen debt muscles. In that case, the muscles start doing anaerobic respiration and very lesser amount of energy is produced. We'll discuss that also. Okay, so remember aerobic respiration, the respiration which occurs in the presence of oxygen, anaerobic in the absence of oxygen. It happens yeast, bacteria, RBCs, the muscles of the human during vigorous exercise and condition, oxygen debt condition. Let us have a process which we should understand before doing any kind of respiration. For that, a flow chart should be required. Let's see. Now, respiration simply means, what is respiration? Whatever digested food like glucose is available. So, glucose is burnt in the presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen to produce what? Energy. So we usually say oxidation of food or substrate is called respiration. Remember that. Substrate means any carbohydrates, which is anything, any food material, digested food material, which is utilized for production of energy. So, whether it is respiration is done aerobic or anaerobic, one process that's called glycolysis is very important. Let's discuss. Now we have a substrate that is called glucose. It has to undergo the respiration, but before glucose has to go, formula C6H12O6. So glucose is a 6-carbon compound. Before it goes into any kind of respiration, it first splits up into 2 molecules of C3. This glucose is C6 compound. It splits further into simpler compound, that is pyruvic acid or pyruvate, which is C3 compound, which is C3 compound, right? So this is called pyruvic acid or pyruvate. Pyruvic acid or pyruvate. So whether anaerobic respiration or whether aerobic respiration, whatever method we adopt, before that glucose has to be broken down into pyruvic acid, means 6 carbon breaks up into simplest 3 carbon compound, and this process is called glycolysis. This process is called glycolysis. It occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. Remember. So now it can undergo whether aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. Okay. So if aerobic respiration occurs, whether it is occurring in plants or whether it is occurring in animals, in both the way, what is happening? This pyruvic acid will be utilized to burn to produce energy. Now energy will be produced, that energy will be 38 ATPs. Energy is being produced. So 38 ATPs are being produced during aerobic respiration. A lot of energy is being produced. But in anaerobic respiration, whether it is plant, whether it is animal, in both the cases, whether plant or whether animals, what is happening? Only 2 ATPs are being produced. ATPs are energy currency. Very lesser amount of energy is being produced. Remember that. So simplification, if we say aerobic respiration produces large amount of energy and aerobic produces lesser amount of energy. Okay. If we have a small chemical equation in plants as well as in animals, let us see. In plants, C6H12O6, this will get oxidized, means in the presence of oxygen respiration is occurring. Then what actually it is producing? It is producing 6 carbon dioxide, 6H2O plus 38 ATPs. So carbon dioxide which we exhale out. But if anaerobic respiration occurs in plants, then what happens? In that case, what will happen? C6H12O6, that will produce ethanol, C2H5OH. This is alcohol. It produces anaerobic respiration byproduct is alcohol, which is very dangerous, and it produces 2 ATPs. But if it is occurring in animals, anaerobic respiration, if it is occurring in animals, then in that case C6H12O6, it is going to produce what? It is going to produce lactic acid. What is lactic acid? CH3, this is methyl group, then CHOH and COOH. This is aldehyde group, this is carboxyl group. This is the lactic acid. Lactic acid. So anaerobic respiration in animals occur in the muscles, which produces lactic acid and 2 ATPs, only 2 ATPs. But this lactic acid causes pain in the muscles, remember that. So this way we can differentiate respiration into aerobic and anaerobic. But remember that whether aerobic respiration is taking place in any of the organism, before that glycolysis must have to be done. And this glycolysis occurs only in the cytoplasm of the cell. I hope it is clear to you. Meeting you next video. Take care. Bye.